Okay, so we've got this full moon in Cancer coming up, and I think that this is a significant full moon because it marks a turning point. This full moon is going to be shedding light on the emotional crossroads that we've reached within our lives. And it's also going to provide us with the support to know what types of choices we want to make within our lives that aligns with the future that we want to live by, right? A more honest and more truthful and more empowered version of ourselves. We've got Mars-Pluto opposition, that's part of this full moon, that's bringing some heat. We've got a nodal shift that's taking place, right? Virgo Pisces. We've got a kite formation that's bringing all of the emotional insights that I'm going to be sharing. And it also is speaking to the importance of the Venus-Saturn conjunction. All of these planets together is bringing the emotional clarity that's going to ultimately support your opportunity to step out of and shed the skin that no longer represents the truth for you, and to step into a more empowered version of yourself that feels authentic. This is a time where there's an incredible amount of insights that are going to come through, okay? And it's here because this is a point in our evolutionary cycle where what you want to change and what you want to align with something that feels honest and truthful for yourself, these insights are going to facilitate the progression to move towards that position within your lives, right? What types of values do you want to live by? And that's also applying to the collective as well. So I'm going to break down all of these transits for us, and we'll start off with the Mars-Pluto opposition. Okay, so the emotional crossroads part of this full moon actually comes from this opposition. Okay, we've actually got the moon conjunct Mars in Cancer, and we've got the sun conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. So this is an illuminating aspect. Like this is it's like pay attention here, okay? And we've got the moon that's supporting the need for emotional sensitivity to come to the surface, right? And when you notice the water and emotional sensitivity coming to the surface, that's your cue to explore whether or not these emotions are actually outdated and holding you back, or are emotions that feel like you're ready to move forward with something within your life. Okay. Now, I must say that this opposition, it's a holding pattern. Okay. It's an energetic pattern that is stimulating the need for regrowth within your emotional landscape. And it's doing that by helping you understand where it is that there are emotional triggers within your field that are holding you back or are causing you suffering or pain, or in some way, shape, or form, giving you an understanding of where you might still need some healing. Ultimately, this opposition wants to push out whatever has become stagnant in your emotional world. And by doing that, it's also simultaneously creating the space for new emotional energy to come into that space that feels more aligned with what is honest and truthful and meaningful within your world. So you'll find that there's a lot of things that you want to cut out within your life, right? And that's what this pattern is ultimately doing. Now, during this time, I would say it's important to recognize and pay attention to, and maybe even like write down any emotional sensitivities that you know are coming to the surface, like particularly some emotional feelings of fear. Generally, when we notice the fear that comes up, it's often an indicator that here's something that we need to be alert to, okay? So this opposition is supporting the emotional empowerment of you by helping you understand what it is that you still need to let go of or work through so that you can move forward in this Pluto and Aquarius age and move forward in a way that feels more honest and empowered to yourself, okay? Now, we've got the kite formation that's taking place. And I'm not going to get too detailed into the what planets are doing this, etc. But this kite formation is an incredibly supportive energy. It's a highly transformational energy. It's a creative, transformational, and it's a liberating energy. And so when you see the kite formation on this full moon, or form during this full moon. You've got Uranus, you've got the South Node, you've got Mars at the apex of it with the moon, and then the Sun, Pluto is part of the trine, right? And there's a picture on the screen where you'll see what the trine looks like. This pattern is what's allowing there to be the possibility and the potential for the insights that I was talking about right in the beginning of this video. And that had to do with holding the space to see what needs to be released. So the Mars-Pluto is saying, hey, by the way, here's the sensitivity that you're sort of being flooded with. And then the Kite Formation comes in, and it provides the space, the playground for this energy to be made aware of, and for natural insights to come into your life to say, hey, this is a recurring pattern that I feel I don't want part of my life going forward, and I need to move beyond that, right? These are the values that I don't want to live by. These are the emotional attachments that I feel are outdated, that are no longer relevant for me, and I'm ready to outgrow, right? Like that being the key word here. Like, what are you ready to outgrow emotionally in your life? That's the power of this full moon, okay? So this kite formation that's happening in the sky right now with this full moon is there to hold space for you for emotional transformation through insights, through liberation, through the recognition of something that feels like it's not part of your future and you want to outgrow that. So if it wasn't powerful enough already with the Mars-Pluto opposition and then the Sun and Moon landing on that opposition itself to highlight that, and having a kite formation as part of the full moon, we've also got a pretty significant event happening, which is the nodes shifting out of the 18-month cycle of North Node in Aries and South Node in Libra into the North Node in Pisces and the South Node in Virgo. So I'm going to create a video on that, and I will be releasing it soon, like breaking down what does this mean for us, how do we psychologically prepare and approach a nodal shift that is now in the signs of Pisces and Virgo. So I will be doing that. But in terms of like the significance of this happening while we're having a full moon, to me is just amazing, because we've been working so much on understanding what does balance, equality, fairness, and justice look like to ourselves as a collective, but also individually for ourselves as well. And we were also working very hard on understanding what types of choices we want to make in our lives that allows us to feel that we're in a direction that is honest and authentic for us, right? That's the North Node in Aries. But now that the signs shift, we are at the graduation party, right? This is it. This full moon to me is the graduation of what we've been doing with the nodes shifting through Aries and Libra. So the insights that you're receiving are because you've spent 18 months working diligently, trying to understand what it is that you want within your life and what you're ready to let go of, as well as how your values have actually shifted in your life during this nodal shift that's taken place with the Aries Libra. So this full moon is like, okay, if you're ready to step into this new era of energetic pattern, what is it that you have accomplished? What is it that you've shifted out of? What is it that you are ready to finally say, that's the emotional path I'm ready to commit to? So North Node moving into Pisces, right? It's going to be conjuncting Neptune as well. To me, it initially indicates a merger in reality that becomes more about what the ideals are that you want to live by within your life that feels meaningful and real. And I'm telling you right now that there's more to the story than just what I've said. And I will, as I said, be covering that in the South Node, North Node nodal shift video. But in terms of just recognizing and understanding what it is that you want to do with your life, the node shifting towards the North Node in Pisces is advocating and amplifying the actual message that Saturn in Pisces has been speaking. And that has to do with the progressive alignment and recognition and realization that you want to live a life that is defined based on your own values, your own understanding of yourself, your ideals, and how do you start manifesting that? So what direction are you moving in your life right now that feels real and meaningful and alive? And I know that many of you will probably answer the question like, I have no idea. And part of that nodal shift is actually drifting into a loss of meaning. The South Node, right, moving into Virgo, will bring us a lot of understanding that I think is much needed in the world right now, which has to do with what happens when humanity or individually within ourselves goes through crises and we have to adapt to those crises, right? What does it bring out within ourselves? And there's a whole entire range of emotions that it brings out. But for the most part, the South Node in Virgo will indicate to us that there is a sense of what am I ready to embody within my world that is honest and aligned with my truth and represents the ideals that feel meaningful for me. That's what that pattern in its most sort of conscious expression can offer us. Now, it doesn't mean that that's always available, but it is ultimately a way to interact with this nodal shift. So if I think about the way that it interacts with this full moon, it's powerful because it signals to us that we are at the like we're at a significant turning point, which is what I was talking about. We are ready to shift into a reality that feels honest and truthful and real to ourselves about our future. And this nodal shift also reveals and indicates that we're at the end of all of the work that we're putting in with regards to the North Node in Aries and South Node in Libra. And here are the insights that are necessary for you to integrate and embody within your world that empowers you going forward. Okay, so the way that this pattern works is that Venus is closing up to Saturn. It's called the balsamic phase. And what it's signaling is the end of cycles within your life that are or were aligned with a set of values, a set of ideals, a set of patterns within your world that were part of the past, that at one point probably made sense to you and were meaningful and real, but have now come to a culmination point. So that's again why it ties into what I'm saying here about this full moon being a significant turning point, right? And also us becoming aware of the emotional thresholds that we've been working and becoming conscious of with this Mars-Pluto opposition. So this conjunction with Venus-Saturn, as I said, it's signaling the closing of a chapter within our lives, right? An ending of an internal relationship to ourselves, the way that we have, valued and defined our world and the meaning that we've given it in the past. Now, what's also really cool about this conjunction is that it amplifies this ongoing square that's been taking place with Jupiter. And this is significant in the sense that, for the most part, we do need a set of new cosmologies, right? A new set of instructions, a new set of belief systems that we can live by that validates our values and cements our feelings of certainty that we want to bring forward within a world that is honest and truthful for yourself, right? What's the new version of yourself or the new direction that you want to take in your life, right? You need a set of belief systems that validates that and supports that and that you can use as a guiding principle. So this Venus also, it amplifies this natural square to Jupiter. Saturn's making it as well. And it's giving us this new order of structure within our lives, which I think is pretty cool, to be honest. So if we took a look at the evolutionary themes that were present, and we started to connect the dots, right, on all of the transits that are taking place, what we've got is Mars-Pluto opposition is the emotional conflicts that arise. The Kite Formation brings us the tools for liberation and breakthrough. The nodal switch indicates a progressive alignment with emotional truth and emotional meaning, right? Spiritual meaning within your life. And the Venus-Saturn conjunction shows us where our new values are wanting to emerge and where we want to give more power to them. So if we took all of these transits, we put them all together, what we've got is this interesting spring cleaning effect, where we're clearing out all of this emotional baggage that we carry with us so that we can have the space renewed and for us to bring new energy and new life into it that, as I said, aligns with something that feels real, honest, and authentic for you. Okay, so here's my takeaway for this full moon in Cancer. I see it as an illumination of the emotional crossroads that we are standing at, okay? And if we're ready to embrace the growth points and some of the challenges that will come our way, I feel like it will push you towards a deeper understanding of what type of life you want to live that is meaningful. But it also is about becoming more connected to what it is that you want to serve. What values do you want to serve and live by that feels honest and true? And this is about connecting to your heart. This is about becoming empowered and seeing the empowered version of yourself and stepping out of and shedding the layers of emotional baggage and patterns that don't give you that sense of empowerment and are ultimately a feeling of the past. Okay? So I'm going to leave two videos on the screen right now. One of them is the Mars-Pluto opposition. The other one is Mars-Pluto through the houses. If you need some more guidance on how this planetary system is working for you personally, you can watch those videos. And as always, guys, let me know in the comment section how you experience this video, as well as what is actually taking place within your life. What are the changes that you're ready to make, and what type of patterns are you ready to embark within your world? Until the next video, guys, bye.